Hi, everybody. Wise King Solomon said there's a time for everything under the sun. So I got something to say to the editors out there, the ones who have a vendetta against the word ain't. Really? Really? Haven't you been listening to the radio? I mean, way back in 1960s, the Beatles came out with, Ain't got nothing but love, babe. 8 days a week. Yeah. Ain't got nothing but love. You heard it. We all heard it. We all love that song, right? We love the word ain't. Yeah, you hate the word ain't because of somebody told you to do that. Somebody who had a vendetta against a word of the English language and was immature, showed immaturity about the word that evidently the English language needed another word to it, and ain't was it. And they hated it. And it's got something to do with they thought it came from black people. So the racist reason, their reasons for hating that word are not valid. They're not good. They're not Christian values. Okay, now let's do the same song using the word isn't. Isn't got nothing but love, babe. Isn't got nothing but love, babe. It doesn't go. It sounds like crap. See? Any other word besides ain't sounds sucking. And the same thing with Van Halen in 76 or something. They used the word ain't too because it went in it goes in it belongs in certain circumstances. So it belongs in the English language, but not the way that they made it a word in 2006 they made it a word. They made it a word out of peer pressure or some crap like that, and not because it belongs in the English language, but because we're pressured to do what we don't want to do. Okay, now it goes like this. Now, it wouldn't be a hit song if they used the word isn't, because we'll show you what does it sound like. How's it go? Ain't starts with ain't. Ain't talking about love. My love is rotten to the core. Ain't talking about love. And then at the end it goes, ain't talking about love. Ain't talking about love. Ain't talking about love. Now let's do it. Let's do the same thing with isn't. The word your editor would use, which would if they use isn't and throw that into your book, it'll do the same thing as it does to these songs. It tears your song up. It makes your song not. It makes your book not believable. That people would not say isn't. Isn't talking about love. Isn't talking about love. No, nobody would like the song, right? Isn't talking about love. Yeah, my voice sounds good, but the word sounds bad. It's the wrong word. Solomon said there's a time for everything under the sun. Well, when is it going to be time to be fair to the word ain't? Now, I'm not saying it's the word to use in every case. Let's use another example of why the word ain't isn't good for. It's not the proper English word for certain circumstances. Just like isn't the proper word, and I just used isn't correctly. Now, isn't it good? Norwegian wood. Right? Isn't it good? Norwegian wood. I forgot how the sense stress. How did the Beatles use? She said, isn't it good? Norwegian wood. I'm not a real good singer for that particular song, but And my sense stress is a little bit off. But you get the point, don't you? The Beatles used ain't and made a hit song. And they use isn't it good, Norwegian wood, isn't, to make another hit song. So that shows how ain't is properly used. It's proper English, and isn't is proper English as well. It ain't is not what they say it is. And I just used ain't properly. See, ain't is not what they say it is. Isn't ain't. Isn't ain't isn't baby. And isn't ain't is isn't ain't is. Right? So you can make both of those words sound good. If it sounds good, it belongs. If it doesn't sound good, it doesn't belong. Ain't has always belonged in the English language because English was lacking something. It was lacking a few words, and ain't came along and filled the need. It filled the need. You know, just like a woman is got a man that doesn't have all the qualities of a man that a man should have, and then she starts seeking another man because he doesn't have the ain't in him. Oh, there's something wrong with you, mister. Yeah. You're lacking the use of the word ain't. I'm divorcing you. Oh, more. I bet you a lot of stupid women editors in particular, probably divorced their husbands because they use the word ain't at times. That's how much they hate the word. This ain't personal choice here. This is brainwashing. The schools and colleges brainwash people. If you're going to graduate from Harvard, buddy, if you ever use the word ain't, your peers will discredit you. They'll use defamation on you. You'll have to take them to court for defamation of character because you use the word ain't, and they're gonna discredit you, so you can't get a job anywhere. I'm sure many men and women that used the word ain't in their interview didn't get the job. See, that's how brainwashed people are. You know, Pink Floyd said something about this. It's called another brick in the wall. It's communist. It's communist to take the word ain't and say, oh, it doesn't belong in the English language. That's communism, you know? You know, how could you eat your cake? How could you eat your cake? Cake is the word ain't. It sounds so beautiful at times and sounds awful at other times. So ain't is a piece of pie. Ain't is something that's lacking in the English language. I know there's still a lot of proud, arrogant men and women that won't allow it to be used. The editor, as a matter of fact, I won't use an editor who thinks the word ain't is not a word. Or, you know, my characters use the word ain't at times. Not all of them. If my character is a graduate from Harvard, for instance, I'm not going to make them use ain't. Maybe I'll get pissed off at editors and I'll make him sing a song about the word ain't. Ain't is a word, baby. And ain't what gonna happen. Ain't what gonna happen. Ain't what's gonna happen when we go to your house tonight. See, I'm gonna piss off the editor on purpose, and he's gonna say a bunch of shit. Okay, he's gonna refuse my book, right? Based on the word ain't, right? A Harvard graduate he learns guitar as a hobby, and then he writes a song about ain't what's gonna happen, baby. When we close the door tonight and the lights go down and we fool around and things are getting hot in here, so take off your clothes, baby. Right? It's getting hot in here, take off all your clothes. I just stole that from that. Anyway, the word ain't. How do you feel about it? I mean, it's just a word. It's a word that, a fill word, a passing word. At times you could use it as a passing word to other words, right? A fill-in word. Actually, ain't is not just a passing word. It's a commanding word. That's a powerful word. That's Van Halen when they got billions of dollars off of one song called "Ain't Talking About Love." I mean that song. I mean the guitar eruption wouldn't have made Eddie Van Halen famous, but not David Lee Roth became famous from saying the word ain't talking about love. That song put that band on the top. That song alone, not just the guitar playing. The guitar playing he probably would have been an unknown guitarist hadn't they had ain't talking about love. I mean, it's just a fact. Come on, be reasonable. There'd be a lot. Edward Van Halen would have a lot of guitarists following him around if they used the word isn't. The band would have only guitarists in the audience. They wouldn't have people that loved their lyrics. See, Van Halen got people to love David Lee Roth. In fact, when he left and Sammy Hagar became the singer. They called it Van Hagar, right? They didn't want to call it Van Halen anymore because David Lee Roth, the singer, the lyricist, who used the word ain't. He knew when to use it. He knew that word would make the band famous. And he used it. So their editors, I mean, in your face, hey, wake up, McFly. You need a wake-up call here. The word ain't is okay to use. Overuse? Well, the overuse of any word is, it's like alcohol. Overuse of alcohol, you're going to turn into an alcoholic. You might, not your kidneys, but your, will be shot to hell. Your body will, if you start, eating alcohol for breakfast and stuff like that, your kidneys and your, oh my God, there's the heart, the lungs, the kidneys, the lungs, stomach, and I know why I can't think of it because I'm recording right now. Anyway, I'm not talking here because I love myself. I like to see myself talk. No, this is a serious problem in America with the vendetta against the word ain't. And they hear a person saying ain't and they discredit them. They use defamation tactics against them, and it's the same thing that Russia uses. Well, Russia's no different. They pick out words too, and they hear people saying those words like freedom. you use the word freedom, free speech in Russia, right? Those are the bad words in Russia. Freedom of speech, right? Freedom of will, free will. See, in Russia hates certain words too, and America only hates a couple. Ain't is one of them, and why would I make a whole video on it? I'll tell you a true story that happened to me in second grade. Second grade is when I started going downhill and I started putting my head on a desk. From there on, all the way up to 12th grade, I had my head on a desk, and teachers just passed me so they wouldn't get me again. I don't want this guy, influence the rest of the kids to put their head on a desk, right, and not to pay attention to me. But I was listening to them. I had my head on a desk. Sometimes I was daydreaming. Most of the time, I was listening to what the teachers were said. Like Mr. Ross, my science teacher, he don't know it, but he was one of my favorite teachers. I was listening. Okay, now why was my head on a desk? I didn't know. I didn't know until I think it was 2010, 2011, around that time. I asked myself, why did I do that in school? Why the heck did I do that? And I went all the way back. I found a place when I was in second grade. Actually, in kindergarten, it started, but it got real bad in second grade. In kindergarten, it was just because the teacher yelled at this girl named Sandra not to tie my shoes. David knows how to tie his shoes, and I did. I was just using. I said, "Could you tie my shoes? Can you tie?" Because I like to look at her. I like the attention she was giving me tying my shoes, and she learned that I did know how to tie my shoes, and I hated the teacher for that. I hated her. I mean, I was getting 100s, and all of a sudden I was getting 50s, and I started failing in kindergarten. They didn't want to pass me to first grade because I stopped working. Because she did that to me. I hated her with all my heart. Then we went first grade. I started running into the brick walls with my head first, into steel metal doors, smashing my head. I wanted to die. I was suicidal in first grade because I didn't know how to win this girl over. Then in second grade, my mom and dad left out somewhere, and they left us with a male babysitter, and he raped me in the bathtub. He put my hands under the hot water until I let him in my ass. You better let me in your ass. You better let me in. I know you're tightening it up on purpose. Okay, I'm putting the hot water on. And he put my hands under the hot water, and he held him under the hot water. And this was not an apartment building where the water is hot but not enough to burn you. This was a private house, and that hot water got 100, almost to the boiling point. You know what I mean? That shit left red mark on my hand, and I had to let him, do me. Yeah, I was raped by a male in second grade, and so. And that made me put my head on the desk a little bit more. But then I would pop up once in a while and raise my hand up and participate in classes. And one of my answers, I used the word ain't to the teacher, and she got pissed. She says, I hear you, David. I hear you saying the word ain't. Not the word. I hear you saying ain't. You keep saying that. I keep telling you that's not a word. And this is the last time I'm going to tell you. That's not a word. Yeah, there's books on the back shelf of her, on her bookshelves in the back, Huckleberry Finn and stuff, that Mark Twain uses the word ain't. So it's in literature. It's in the music. It's on TV. It's everywhere. Ain't is everywhere. And she told me, I'm going to get punished for what? For what? Being like everybody else? Being like the Beatles who sang ain't? So I get punished for liking the Beatles. So and here's what she did. She punished me. And I kept using it. And then she says to the class, if anybody calls David, that's me, David, you're getting detention too. His name, I'm changing his name to Stupid. David is stupid because he uses ain't as a word. That's what she said. Ain't as a word. He uses ain't as a word, and it's not a word. And I keep telling him he won't listen, so we're going to punish him together. I punished him, he won't listen, so we're all going to participate in David Schillen's punishment. From now on, if anyone doesn't call him stupid, you're getting detention. And you know what? Only one person called me stupid. The rest of the class never talked to me anyway. So they're not going to call me David or stupid because they don't talk to me. So they were already picking on me anyway in class. So I took this kid who called me stupid, and I immediately punched him in the nose. I broke his nose. Then out of the classroom, I probably got yelled at. I got detention or whatever. And then out in the schoolyard, I punched him and broke his nose. And then he went to my brother Paul to have my brother tell me to stop punching him. And I told him about Paul. He's calling me stupid. And if anyone calls me stupid, I don't care if the teacher gave him permission. I'm punching them. I'm going to beat the shit out of them. And he called me stupid. Yeah, but David, you're stupid. Hey, he said that in front of my brother Paul. Right in front of my brother Paul. And he couldn't do shit about it. I punched him in the face and broke his nose the third freaking time. So his family got tired of me breaking his nose. They met us in the principal's office, and the principal said, well, there's really nothing I can do. If he punched him 3 times and went in front of the teacher, in front of his brother, and here and there, he punches him everywhere, I'm going to have to suspend him and this and that. And they say, his parents said, well, if you can't do enough about it, we're going to sue him. We're going to sue his parents. And I stood up and say, you can't sue my parents. None of this is my parents' fault. This is me breaking his nose. Well, I won't tell you why. I'll tell you why, because he called me stupid. Why don't we sue him for calling us stupid? As a matter of fact, the real person you gotta sue is the school. You gotta sue this guy, the principal. And the principal said, why you gotta sue me? That don't make any sense. You're gonna sue me? When it's your badness, kid? You're bad. Get out of my office right now. I'm tired of hearing your wise mouth little you little shit and stuff like that. Starts even swearing at me in front of my parents and in front of his parents. And then I said, well, here's why. Because he's the principal and he's responsible for what the teachers do. And that my teacher is the one who told him to call me stupid. So there, you gotta sue the person that's telling the other person to call me stupid. They're responsible for the broken nose, not me. I have the right to defend myself. And if anyone calls me stupid, I'm gonna punch him. And if that teacher's the one who's telling him to call me stupid, just because of the word ain't that I use now and then. Yeah, now and then. I don't use it all the time. She's going to call me stupid. She's going to tell everybody in the class to call me stupid. I'm going to kick everybody's ass in that class. I talk like that. I use the swear word ass, everything. I don't care. You school. You know what? It's him. He's responsible. I yelled at that kid's parents. It's him. He's responsible for the teacher. That teacher's acting irresponsible. So it's a school you gotta sue and not my parents. You better leave my parents alone because I'm gonna punch you too, I said to the guy. I'm only 6 years old and I'm gonna fight this man and stuff like that. Yeah, and then they say, oh, you were just a bad kid. I'm not a bad kid. I got fucking raped. I got a teacher telling a student not to tie my shoes anymore, interfering in my relationship with this little girl, right? I got a teacher going even further than suspending me and punishing me, making me wash she made me wash her blackboards almost the entire year. The year's almost over and I've been washing her. I've been skipping. She made me skip recess so many freaking times just because I used the word ain't. Is that prejudice? That's prejudice against a person who uses the word ain't. It's a vendetta. It's a vendetta. And it's immature. It's immature to be enforcing that and holding on to a grudge like that. So you hold on to. They're so brainwashed. This teacher's so brainwashed that she attacks a little kid and ruins a kid's life. Gets a kid's nose broken over it. 3 times I broke that kid's nose because she had a vendetta against the word ain't. Come on, people, grow up, man. You see the shit that you're causing just because of a word? Just cause, oh, I don't like that word. No, you probably love that word, but you're brainwashed to hate it. You're brainwashed. It's like Hitler. Once Hitler got the stone rolling, no one could stop the communism in this country. And once you get the stone rolling against the word ain't,